synthetic electron 3D channel. When a printer suddenly refuses to level the bed, most people blame the probe or the firmware. But in this case, the real problem turned out to be 3 different hardware issues, all causing the exact same symptoms: a bent lead screw, misaligned Z-screws, and a slightly bent strain gauge. Now, you all know I never make mistakes. But somehow a filament spool mysteriously leapt underneath the bed while it was lowering, resulting in the dreaded bed crash. Unfortunately, the printer did exactly what physics says it should do. The collision caused belt slippage and bent the right lead screw. To inspect the damage, I needed to remove the lead screw. This meant partially disassembling the Z-drive system. The tensioner on the same plane as the lead screw pulleys has 2 screws that secure the tensioner during use. Once those are loosened, the tensioner spring may be extended. This creates enough slack to slide the belt off the idler pulleys and the lead screw pulleys. With the belt out of the way, the lead screw pulley can be removed, in theory. And of course, the pulley retainer bolt stripped, which seems to be a fairly common Centauri Carbon experience. So, out came the rotary tool and a diamond cutting wheel to cut a slot in the head. Once the slot was cut, an impact driver removed it without much drama. In hindsight, using an impact driver from the start would have been the best way to remove this screw. The quick impact helps break the screw loose without applying steady torque that can strip the hex head. I discovered this after stripping it, of course. The pulley has 2 set screws, and a 2mm hex key may be used to fit into one. The chassis will block the key from turning, which will lock the pulley while you loosen the retainer screw. With the pulley removed, I could finally take the lead screw out and inspect it. Before reinstalling it, I rolled the lead screw on a flat surface just to get a quick sense of how bent it might be. This isn't a precise measurement, but it can quickly show if the bend is obvious. I reinstalled the lead screw without the bed mount so it could spin freely between the 2 bearings, and used a dial indicator to measure it properly. A dial indicator isn't the most common tool for hobby work, but you don't need anything fancy for this. This one is just an inexpensive model with a vice grip style stand, around $40 where I'm at, and it's more than accurate enough for 3D printer work. I've actually had this Harbor Freight one for years. Mine came in this wooden case. Looks like they ship with a plastic one now, but the tool itself is basically the same. The indicator shows how much the screw moves away from its ideal position as it turns. This movement is called runout. Runout is basically how much a rotating part deviates from a perfectly straight axis. Imagine drawing a perfect circle around the lead screw and rotating the screw inside that circle. If the screw is perfectly straight, it stays centered as it turns. But if it's bent, parts of it move outside the circle as it rotates. That deviation is the runout. The Z-axis should move only vertically. If the lead screw wobbles side to side as it rotates, it introduces lateral motion into the Z mechanism, which can lead to positioning errors and slightly misaligned layers. Once I found the point with the largest runout, I marked it with a marker. Then, I gently bent the screw in the opposite direction. This isn't something you want to rush. Small corrections followed by remeasuring. After a few iterations, I was able to bring the thread-to-thread runout down to about 10,000ths of an inch. At that point, the screw looked reasonably straight again. After reinstalling the lead screw, I ran into another issue. The bed still wouldn't level correctly. The Centauri Carbon uses 3 lead screws, and they need to be aligned relative to each other. To synchronize them, I loosened the pulley set screws so the lead screws could rotate freely. Then I pushed the bed all the way down to the bottom of the chamber. With the bed fully lowered and the belt tight across all 3 pulleys, I reinstalled the retaining screw on the lead screws, then tightened the pulley set screws. Doing this with the 2 front lead screws at the same time ensures that the front lead screw nuts end up on the same plane as the rear lead screw nut. This leaves the bed roughly level mechanically. Before running automatic leveling, I still wanted to get the bed roughly aligned. My quick method was dragging the nozzle across the bed with a sheet of wax paper between them. Adjusting one corner throws the others off slightly, so you repeat until the resistance feels about the same on all 4 corners. Automatic leveling works best when the bed is already close to level mechanically. The printer screen says that a sensor touches the bed during leveling. But that's not actually what's happening. The Centauri Carbon uses 4 strain gauges under the bed. When the nozzle taps the bed flexes slightly, and those gauges measure the force. So technically the nozzle is touching the bed, and the sensors detect that force through the bed structure. This has a nice advantage. It measures the nozzle directly, so there's no probe offset. While trying to reproduce the leveling failure message, I discovered something interesting. Disturbing a sensor during probing causes the printer to report a damaged sensor or environmental disturbance. The printer can still complete the leveling process with 3 working sensors. That suggests the firmware compares the readings and discards inconsistent values. Since the firmware seems to ignore a missing sensor, you may be able to simply unplug a damaged sensor as a temporary fix until you can obtain a replacement. In this case, the strain gauge wasn't electrically damaged. It had just been slightly bent during the collision. This meant it was no longer in a neutral position, so it was triggering earlier than the others. To correct that, I very carefully bent it back toward a more neutral position using a flathead screwdriver. The idea is to move it in the opposite direction of the force from the collision. This is something you want to be very gentle with. Small adjustments can make a big difference. In my case, this worked, but I probably got a bit lucky. If the sensor is actually damaged, it may need to be replaced. When a strain gauge is misbehaving, you'll often see the printer probe more than 2 or 3 times at the same point, or press harder than normal, sometimes even compressing the bed spring visibly at one corner. After correcting the gauge, it actually became difficult to get the printer to fail leveling again, which is why I had to intentionally disturb the sensor to capture the error message. Before taking a closer look at the results, I wanted to show how I created the test model. I just used a simple primitive cube in Elegoo slicer, then scaled it to cover most of the bed, in this case about 240 by 240 millimeters, and set the height to a single layer, so 0.2 millimeters here, or whatever your layer height is. I moved it slightly to stay out of the non-printable zone so the slicer would accept it. That gives you a quick, large area first layer test to evaluate leveling performance. You can do this same thing in most slicers. I just happen to use Elegoo slicer in this example. Now for the closer look on how these tests turned out. Here is the PLA optimized side of the build plate, or side B. The first layer is very consistent across most of the surface. And here we have the general purpose side. Very similar result, good adhesion and consistent extrusion. There are still a few minor imperfections, but this is about as good as it realistically gets on most printers. You're almost never going to get a mathematically perfect first layer across the entire bed. While this was all done on the Centauri Carbon, most of these issues apply to 3D printers in general. Mechanical problems can look exactly like leveling problems. A bent lead screw can introduce Z variation. Misaligned Z screws can tilt the bed as it moves. And sensor issues, especially force-based systems like strain gauges, can give you inconsistent measurements. Automatic leveling can compensate for small errors, but it works best when the mechanics are already close. In this case, 3 separate problems produce the same symptom: a bent lead screw, misaligned Z screws, and a preloaded strain gauge. Once those were corrected, the printer returned to producing consistent first layers again. So, if your printer suddenly won't level correctly, it might not be just one problem. Hopefully this gives you a few places to start looking, especially when the symptoms don't quite make sense. If you find this kind of video interesting or useful, then consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos, and don't forget to click that like button to show your support. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.